Good morning and welcome to another beautiful day out here at the river house. And in this case, we're beaming, and I mean it literally. Because right down there are the two larch beams for the great room. We don't quite know how we're going to set them. We don't quite know what we're going to set them on. And we don't know exactly how we're going to hold them up once we get there. But we're going to do it anyways. It should be a beautiful day. Is that cutting or is that sawdust coming out of the crack? That's got to be cutting, isn't it? It's got to be cutting. Unfortunately, there just isn't a whole lot of good footage of us, at least on my camera, setting the beam. I think when we did the big one, Mom might have been filming on hers, and if I get that footage from her, then I'll put it in here someday down the road. I've got a little bit with a tripod literally sit on the hood of the excavator. This is us pulling it out and flipping it around. And, yeah, obviously we should have used a chainsaw, and in the end we did. Not, however, before I brought the big crosscut saw from home and used that to make one cut on the end of the big log. But by the time it was all said and done, my forearms are cramping up so bad. We started the chainsaw and we made the cut. It was not as accurate, but it was still perfectly fine. Well, we were getting very accurate cuts with the old hand saws because the accuracy is, there's a taper to the cut, but there's also, I want the log to orient a certain way. So anyways, that's us with Shay's little tiny saw again, and it's just, the Sawzall blade's just packed with pitch instantaneously, and you could clear them. I mean, you could scrape them and clean them, and they're not damaged in any way, but they just wouldn't cut. It'd be like sanding gum. Don't know why these logs are so bad, because they weren't dripping or oozing pitch. They haven't like some of our beams would leave puddles on the hot sun. They haven't done that, but it just fought and fought and fought. So anyways, I've got what I got, and you get what you get, and with luck I'll get Mom's sometime later. But this is us moving it over into position with a big old strap. I don't know, I fished it out of some industrial dumpster somewhere at some point, but it's definitely well more than is necessary to lift this little tiny log. The board screwed to the side is just a handle to help orient it up and down. And we set it on a rolling scaffolding on some blocks, and then we nudged the far end into its pocket and attached it to the rafters. At that point I had to be super careful, because if I bump the levers the wrong way, then I guess be floor joists. We're going to rip the floor joists off. And the excavator is not quite like a regular crane. Not that I've run a lot of cranes or anything. Sometimes moving it forward or backwards might mean, like right here, it might mean moving 2 or even 3 different pivot points, and so sometimes keeping all of it straight in my head was hard, and sometimes keeping it all moving slowly could be difficult, but I'm pretty darn good at it now. I could pick up a 5-gallon bucket full of water and place it somewhere about 36 feet away without soaking your shoes. I'm not going to guarantee I don't spill a little, but I'm not going to soak your shoes. Anyways, this is what I got. With luck, you'll have some better footage later. That's all I got time for, I'm afraid.
Yeah, that ought to be good. Good grief. Couldn't have been more accurate. But I think we're too high at this end. That's a good problem to have. Not too bad at the other end. Well, now we put the jack under it, raise it up a little bit, and then set it back down. Exactly what we want.
Here we've got a little bonus footage. I'm starting to remember some of this. It's been so long since this actually happened. Right as we were setting a big log, the camera died. So that's why the only footage may or may not be on Mom's camera. But this is the other log, and the problem with the other log is we had to cut a flat on one of the sides that was about 4 feet long. So it was a lot. Yeah, the other logs were 8 inches, and this is 4 feet. So again, the sawzall kept sticking. So this is the big old crosscut saw that Shay and I sharpened and rebuilt and whatnot. And it's also the moment where my forearms just started cramping so badly. I was like, you know what? To heck with it. It's not as accurate, but yeah, there's Dad checking it with the square. We did okay. We are not log cabin people, but we did okay. Speaking of not being log cabin people, now we have to notch the far end of the log, and we don't really know how to do that. So I'm taking a chainsaw and just making a few slices and whatnot, and I did all right, like so many things on this project. I did okay. The gap or the joint looks pretty darn good from the bottom. If you go to the top, it's a little wide, but it did a good job at the bottom. So, yeah, from where guests will see it, it looks okay. I guess I am not ready, having cut a grand total of 2 logs. I guess I'm just not quite ready yet to build log houses. But anyway, we had a template, and that's us fine-tuning it to some extent, and it just went a little too far. Just went a little too far on the top. No one will notice. I mean, I'll notice every single time I walk by, but nobody else will notice. And that's just the way of these things, I think. It was an interesting day. That's all I got for you here. I had about, I don't know, it's 10:30 at night now. I had about 3 hours that I could edit some videos, and I know I owed you guys some videos, and with luck I'll get some better footage and whatnot. But the house has progressed a heck of a lot farther than what episode 130 and 131 have shown. We've got almost all the upstairs interior walls stood, and I'm gonna have to do an update. But again, it's a busy time, and school teacher and the COVID stuff, and it's just overwhelmed me a little bit. But we'll get her in there. I'm confident that we'll have some more videos coming up here pretty darn soon. And yeah, as always, as everyone here at the River House would love to express, thanks for watching.